Let me ask you something. What's the one thing you keep putting off? That one goal you swear you'll tackle tomorrow, next week, or when the time is right, guess what? That perfect time isn't coming. While you're waiting for motivation to show up, life is passing you by. The truth? Success doesn't care how you feel. If you want to win, you've got to get up and make it happen. Listen to me, this is not just a speech, this is the wake-up call you've been avoiding. Because if you don't force yourself to take action now, one day you'll be forced to live with regret. And trust me, regret is heavier than discipline. Stick with me and I'll show you exactly how to break through the excuses holding you back. Just define the problem. We all have moments where we feel stuck, unmotivated, or unsure. That's human. But too often we let those moments define us. We wait for inspiration, for energy, for the right mood, and guess what? It never comes. Here's the hard truth. If you wait for motivation, you'll be waiting forever. But if you force yourself, if you push past that resistance, you'll discover something incredible. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Picture this 10 years from now, you look back on today. Will you feel pride or regret? Because regret doesn't ask for permission. It sneaks up on you when you've wasted too much time. The pain of pushing yourself now is temporary, but the pain of regret sticks with you. Why action is key. Nothing changes without action. You can dream, plan, and hope all you want, but it's the person who does who gets the rewards. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Force yourself to take the first step, and the second step will come easier. Break your limits. The resistance you feel, that's where growth happens. When you push through the discomfort, you discover what you're truly capable of. Your potential isn't on the other side of motivation, it's on the other side of effort. No one will do it for you. Here's a reality check. No one is coming to save you. No one will care about your dreams as much as you do. So stop waiting for permission and give yourself the green light. Overcoming excuses. But I'm tired, I'm busy, I'll do it tomorrow. Stop. Those excuses are lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. Every excuse is a barrier between you and the life you want. Crush them. The power of momentum. When you force yourself to start, something amazing happens. You build momentum. One small victory leads to another, and before you know it, you're unstoppable. Success isn't about huge leaps, it's about consistent steps forward. A vision for the future. Imagine waking up 1 year from now. You're living the life you dreamed of because you forced yourself to act when it was hard. You built habits, you created momentum, and now you're reaping the rewards. Challenge the audience. I'm challenging you right now. What's one thing you've been avoiding? Decide to act today, not tomorrow. Write the email, hit the gym, start the project. Force yourself to take that first step. Because the only person standing between you and your goals is you. Now, what are you waiting for? Go get it done. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a man standing at the edge of his dreams, so close that he can feel them. But instead of stepping forward, he hesitates. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and that dream, it fades into a distant memory. Now, what held him back? It wasn't lack of talent or resources, it was waiting. Waiting for the right moment, waiting for the perfect plan, waiting for a feeling. Now, think about your own life. How many times have you been in that same spot? You know what you need to do, but you're waiting for motivation to hit, for inspiration to spark, for someone else to give you the push. Let me tell you something, waiting is the biggest trap there is. The world doesn't pause for you to get ready. Success doesn't knock politely and ask if you're in the mood. If you want it, you've got to force yourself to act no matter how you feel. This is why I need you to hear this. You might think I'll come back to this later, I'll figure it out on my own, but the truth is, this might be the one moment, the one spark that flips the switch in your mind. This might be the message that sets you in motion, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share isn't fluff or feel-good motivation. It's the raw truth that separates those who dream from those who achieve. By the end of this, you'll not only understand why action matters, but also have the tools to force yourself to get things done, no matter what stands in your way. So don't look away. The next few moments could change everything. We all know what it feels like to be stuck. You wake up, look at your to-do list, and feel that weight pressing down on you. You think, I'll get to it later, and for a moment, it feels like a relief. But deep down, you know what's really happening. You're delaying, hesitating, giving in to that little voice that says, it's okay to wait. But here's the truth, waiting doesn't solve the problem. In fact, it makes it worse. Every time you put something off, it gets heavier, harder, and more intimidating. And the worst part, it's not the task itself that's overwhelming, it's the thought of it. The mental gymnastics you go through convincing yourself that you'll feel more ready later are exhausting. Here's the reality: motivation doesn't magically appear. It's not some lightning bolt that strikes out of nowhere. The people who achieve their goals don't sit around waiting for the perfect moment. They act in spite of the hesitation, in spite of the resistance, in spite of how they feel. They force themselves to move, and in doing so, they create the momentum that leads to motivation. We all struggle with those moments where action feels impossible. You wake up with a list of things to do, and instead of diving in, you find yourself scrolling, daydreaming, or convincing yourself, I'll get to it later. But here's the reality: later is the biggest lie we tell ourselves. The tasks you push off don't disappear, they grow heavier. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to take that first step. Think about it. How often have you put something off only to find that the thought of doing it was far worse than actually doing it? That hesitation, that pause is where most people lose. They let their doubts, their fears, and their feelings take control. But here's the hard truth: feelings lie. If you let them dictate your actions, you'll stay stuck. The people who achieve their goals, who make progress, don't wait for the perfect mood or the ideal moment. They know that success comes from moving forward despite how they feel. The secret is simple but powerful: force yourself, push through the resistance. Because once you start, everything changes. Action creates momentum, and momentum builds motivation. But it all begins with that first move, no matter how hard it feels. Close your eyes and imagine this. It's years down the road and you're looking back on your life. There are two possible feelings waiting for you. One is pride, a deep satisfaction because you pushed through, did the hard things, and created the life you wanted. The other, regret, the painful sting of knowing you had the chance, but you let it slip away. Discipline is temporary. Yes, it's hard to push yourself when you're tired, when it's inconvenient, or when doubt creeps in. But that difficulty is short-lived. Every rep you push through, every task you finish, and every step you take builds the life you want. And when you compare that fleeting discomfort to the lifelong weight of regret, the choice becomes clear. When you force yourself to act, you're not just doing it for today. You're doing it to avoid waking up one day and realizing that you traded your potential for excuses. The pain of discipline is your investment in a future you can be proud of. So ask yourself, which will you choose? Temporary discomfort or permanent regret? Let's be real, no one gets anywhere by simply wanting things. Desire is not enough. You can dream all you want about success, happiness, or change, but dreams alone don't build anything. What separates those who achieve from those who stay stuck is one thing: action. Here's the truth: the world rewards what you do, not what you hope to do. It doesn't care about your intentions, plans, or excuses. Results come to those who show up, put in the work, and do it consistently, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when they don't feel like it. Think about a builder with all the tools in the world, but no will to use them. The blueprint stays on paper, the tools gather dust, and the foundation never gets laid. That's what it's like when you sit on your potential, waiting for the right moment. The difference is, your life doesn't have a pause button. Every day you don't act is a day lost. The truth is simple: you can't think your way into success. You have to work your way there. Force yourself to start, and the results will follow. Every action you take is a step closer to your goals, while every delay pushes them further away. The key isn't to wait for motivation, but to trust the process and let your actions create the results you want. Let me tell you something: most people don't realize the resistance you feel, the hesitation, the doubt, the fear. That's the door to your potential. It's not a wall stopping you, it's a test, a challenge to see how badly you want it. And here's the kicker: most people stop at that door. They see the discomfort and think, this isn't for me, but the ones who push through, they discover what they're truly capable of. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you push past the voice in your head that says, I can't. It happens when you challenge yourself to do more than you think you can. That's where your strength is built, not in avoiding the hard stuff, but in facing it head on. I think about the times you've done something you thought was impossible. It wasn't easy, was it? But once you pushed through, once you proved to yourself that you could do it, you felt unstoppable. That's the power of breaking your limits. The things that scare you or seem too hard, those are the exact things that will make you stronger. So don't shy away from the discomfort. Don't let the resistance win. Force yourself to step through it, because on the other side is the version of you that's ready to take on anything. That's where your potential lies, just beyond your limits. Let's get one thing straight. No one is coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you your dreams, your goals, or your success. It doesn't matter how much people love you, support you, or believe in you. This is your life, and it's your responsibility to make things happen. When you realize that it's on you, everything changes. You stop waiting for the perfect circumstances. You stop blaming other people or external situations. You take control. You force yourself to do what needs to be done, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Success starts when you stop looking for outside motivation and start being your own driving force. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll see progress. This isn't about relying on anyone else. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. You are your own savior, your own hero, and your own breakthrough. Now act like it. Let's talk about excuses, the ones we all use, the ones that feel so valid in the moment. I'm tired, I don't have time, it's not the right moment. Sound familiar? Excuses are like chains. They feel comfortable because they let you stay where you are, but they're holding you back from where you need to be. Here's the thing, every excuse you make is a story you tell yourself to avoid discomfort. And while those stories might make you feel better in the short term, they're stealing your future from you. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're trading your goals for a false sense of relief. Let's break it down. You say you're tired, but is that really true? Or are you avoiding the challenge because it feels overwhelming? You say you're busy, but how much of your time is spent scrolling, procrastinating, or doing things that don't move you forward? Excuses are clever. They sound reasonable. They feel justified. But at the end of the day, they're just distractions. And the only way to overcome them is to stop negotiating with yourself. Stop giving yourself the option to back out. Decide that no matter what, you'll show up and get it done. Because here's the truth, the more you give in to excuses, the more power they have over you. But when you push through them, when you force yourself to act, you break the cycle. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than your feelings, your doubts, and your excuses. And that's when the real transformation begins. Here's something most people don't understand. Success isn't about giant leaps. It's about small, consistent actions that build momentum. You don't climb a mountain in one step. You take it one stride at a time. The same principle applies to every goal, every dream, and every challenge in your life. When you force yourself to act, even in the smallest way, you start a chain reaction. That one email you send, that single workout you show up for, or that small task you finally completed creates a sense of accomplishment. And that accomplishment fuels your energy, your confidence, and your drive to keep going. Momentum is powerful because it makes the next step easier. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and takes effort to get moving, but as it gains speed, it grows bigger and becomes unstoppable. That's the secret. The hardest part is starting, but once you do, the process becomes its own source of motivation. Most people fail because they wait for motivation to kick in. But here's the truth, motivation follows action, not the other way around. When you take that first step, no matter how small, you create the spark that leads to the fire. So don't focus on the entire mountain, just take the next step. Force yourself to begin and let momentum carry you forward. Because once you're in motion, nothing can stop you. Imagine yourself 1 year from now, or even 5 years from now. What does your life look like? Are you living the dreams you've talked about, or are you still stuck in the same place wishing for change? The difference between where you are today and where you could be is the result of the choices you make right now. The actions you force yourself to take today will shape the life you wake up to tomorrow. But here's the truth, success isn't a sudden transformation. It's a series of small decisions made every single day. Every time you force yourself to act, you're building the future you want. Every time you push past your feelings, you're creating a life of purpose, growth, and achievement. Look ahead and see yourself thriving, achieving the things you've always dreamed of. That future is possible, but it's not going to come knocking at your door. You have to go after it. Every step you take, no matter how hard it feels in the moment, is a step closer to the person you want to become. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start now. Begin taking action, no matter how small. The momentum you create today will carry you into the future you desire. And when you look back, you'll be proud of the person who forced themselves to take those first steps, because that person will have shaped the incredible life you're living now. The time to act is now, and the future you want begins with the choices you make today. Make those choices count. Right now, I'm giving you a challenge. A challenge to step up and take action, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Right now, what's the one thing you've been avoiding? What's the task you've been putting off, telling yourself you'll get to later? Whatever it is, I'm challenging you to take that first step toward it today. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, or the perfect plan. The perfect time doesn't exist. You are the one who makes it happen. You have everything you need to start right now. Don't let another minute pass by. Write the email, pick up the phone, start the project, or take that first step. The hardest part is always getting started. Once you force yourself to take that first step, you'll realize something powerful. It wasn't as hard as you thought. And from there, you'll build momentum. You'll see progress. And most importantly, you'll prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. So, here's the deal. Take action now. Don't wait. Don't make excuses. Force yourself to do it, because every action you take today is a step closer to the life you've always wanted. You have the power to change your future, and it starts with what you do right now. Go make it happen. Oh, this is your moment. The moment to decide whether you're going to stay where you are or take that step forward into the life you deserve. You have everything it takes right now to change your trajectory, to push past your excuses, and to force yourself to get things done. Don't wait for motivation to find you, because it won't. Don't wait for the stars to align, because they won't. The only thing standing between you and your goals is your own willingness to act. The time to move is now. The time to show up is now. And when you do, you'll be amazed at how much you can achieve. So I challenge you, step up, take control, and get to work. The future you want is on the other side of today's actions. Force yourself to act, and I promise you will start seeing results. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Let today be the day you stop waiting and start doing. Go, get it done.